Hi, this is Donald Foyle, former Golden State Warrior, and you're watching Bay Area Sports Rap.
Yeah, you got off to a little bit of a slow start and looked like you weren't really thrilled with the threes weren't going in. What got it going in the second half for you or a little later in the game?
Just keep shooting. Try not to ever overthink or dwell on some tough shooting situations, especially, the pressure they were trying to apply early in the game, and they were all over the place, defensively. So just stick with it, wear them down, know I'll get some good looks, stay confident, try to do what I always do.
Jimmy used the term mediocre the other night when kind of describing you. I think, that was somewhat record-based, right? You're 23 and 19, but I'm just curious, I think you won like 10 of 14. How believable to you is this stretch that it's really kind of like turning here?
I was just telling them out there, like Coach Bob McKillop always used to say, peacock today, feather duster tomorrow. So it's an idea of just, we're playing well. Yeah, we're doing what we're supposed to do to develop an identity. We're trying to create a little bit of a run, especially in this homestand, but mediocre and average and whatever is based on, a consistent run of just never being able to really get a good, push up the standing. So I like where we're at. I like the vibes. I like the idea of how we're playing, and we've had a couple, probably 3 tough losses over the last couple of weeks, but the resiliency, we're showing it. And if we can keep doing that and try to get to the All-Star break with more of the same, we should be in good shape.
Steph, it seemed like you and Jimmy were running a lot of the pick and roll tonight. Sometimes he was a screener, sometimes he's a ball handler. Just what makes him so effective in that play when you two run it?
Nobody can speed him up. He's very comfortable with the ball in his hands, whether he's trying to score, get in the paint, and play make and get other guys shots. And he's just physical. Whenever he gets a shoulder by you, you're not getting back in front of him. So that's all we're trying to do, especially against a team like that who's trying to switch a lot and keep us on the perimeter. If either me or him can come off, get a little bit of separation. We do it differently, but his ability to just stay composed and see the floor while, he's making his presence felt is tough to guard for anybody.
Hey, Steph, they jumped out to a 31-14 lead, and you guys sort of came storming back, ended up leading at halftime. What changed after that start that allowed you guys to do that? We
talked about before the game, we knew that they had a rough night in Sacramento, and with Jalen, with Brunson out, they didn't have anything to lose. They were going to come out and just firing away, and that's what they did. And they made shots. We had a couple turnovers early where it fueled their offense. I think they had like 11 points off turnovers in the first quarter. But after that, our defense settled in, just try to make possessions a little harder. And that group with Jimmy out there down the stretch of the first quarter into the second gave us a lot of life. They kind of walked them down, and next thing you know, it's a 5-point game. That's just a different tone. So you're not feeling like you're having to chase for a whole half. And in the second half, they gave us some good life.
Steph over here. Moses has mostly struggled from the outside the last couple of weeks, but the last 2 games, I think he's 11 for 17, and obviously tonight, right from the start. How does that change sort of the feel of that starting group? I mean, that's obviously one of his big roles in that group is to shoot from 3. When he's on like that, how does that unlock things?
It's beyond helpful, and him and Q in that QP in that first group are going to get a lot of good looks. And I know how you start a game. You want to get off to a good start. It's nice to make your first shot feel good, but as long as they're taking shots, like, we can live with it. It's good offense, and you got to assume that eventually shots will start to fall. The one thing I love about Moses is I haven't talked to him, so I don't know if this is true or not. But when he shoots, it feels like he doesn't even know what his percentage is. It's not like you can see it on his face, or he looks like he's pressing. I like that about him. It's nice to have selective amnesia a little bit, even if things haven't been going your way. You still have to shoot the ball. So I encourage him to keep doing that.
Kuminga became trade eligible today. How much, as a guy who obviously is leader in the locker room, how much do you feel like this story, the looming story, is or isn't a distraction, and how much do you feel like just a resolution is needed in this situation prior to the deadline?
It's not a distraction at all. It's a very unique situation, but our job is to just keep playing, keep winning. It'll resolve itself one way or the other.
Steph, to follow up on that, why don't you think it'll be a distraction, given how much noise there is about it?
You've been around for the last 3-4 years. We've done it this whole time, so very, very well trained in this area to just play basketball.
Did you talk to him at all the last couple of days?
Not specifically about that, no.
Steph, to Moses' question, it looked like there was even an ATO literally called for him. He's going all the way around. I think maybe one time when he was hot, you were almost pointing for him to take it, seemed like. Is there some kind of emphasis like Moses, yeah, take it, and especially if he's hot, you're almost saying, this is fine, almost like a Clay situation. You just go take the shot.
Like I said, it's good basketball. It's about how the defenses are playing us. Most of the time, they're not hugged up on him, so if we can set screens for him, or like that play was a flare for him coming off into space, and it was a great shot. He got I threw like an arcing, bouncing pass, and he got his feet set and knocked it down. Or if it's random action, I'm able to set a pin in for him. Like, you got to be able to take that to soften the defense up and keep him honest, no matter how you've been shooting. And then obviously when he gets hot, that's when the vibes are flowing and you're looking for him.
Steph, tonight was the third time you had on Sabrina's. Is there a reason why it's the third time? Do you like performing in the shoe or just showing support to her?
All of the above. I've tried to kind of condense the type of shoes I'm wearing on the court. Just the more you get into it, you kind of want to have a little bit of consistency, even though I've been trying a bunch of different stuff. But they're great shoes. Obviously, I like her story, the friendship, the whole deal. So I love being able to support her out there on the court. But I'll wear different stuff. But it is always a great honor knowing that the relationship that we have.
And WNBA fans were really excited to see that Angel Reese and Asia Wilson are going to be GOATs in your new movie. What went into that decision to have them as part of the movie? And in general, how did you decide who would be GOATs in the movie?
I was working with Sony. It's crazy, this platform that I've been able to collaborate with so many amazing people from all different industries, NBA guys, WNBA athletes, other entertainers. So it's a new space, and everything that I try to do is about, shining light on other talented people that, can have great experiences right there with me. So it should be fun for everybody, no matter what background you have, whether it's sports, entertainment, whatever. You should be able to find some hidden gems with some of the voices of the characters. It'd be cool.
And Steph, you constantly talk about turning the page at this point in the season. Do you feel like you guys are at the point kind of where you left off last year, and as far as how you guys are playing and starting to gel together?
The record's starting to reflect that, but again, we have a long way to go. This homestand's been great. It's been nice to have a consistent flow of games and some practice time, film time, time for us all to get together and understand what we're trying to do. And I think it's mostly just the conversations we've been having around rotations and knowing who you're playing with out there. Because for any guy to have that comfort level of, I know where my shots are coming from, I kind of know some of the pet actions of play calls that we're running, chemistry starts to build that way. So that's been probably the most helpful. Just understand what's been working, what combinations have been working and sticking with.
So guys kind of started to really come into their role at this point, would you say?
Yeah, because we're still playing 11 guys. I know Guy got hurt tonight, but 11 guys are playing, at least 10 to 15 minutes. So that does matter over the course of 48.
Steph, what does it mean to see your dad get his jersey retired in Charlotte?
Special. Curry name, and especially in Charlotte, we call him the originator because when the expansion draft happened in '88, and our family moved there and set up shop, and he was a part of the original Hornet team, and was the last original Hornet to leave. Was an all-time leading scorer in franchise history for a while until Kemba came through. So, Bobby Fields is up in the rafters, and that's the one jersey for a great reason. But for my pops to be, the first athlete that, gets his jersey up there in this way is unbelievable. And the way that they did it, he's been a part of the franchise, since he's been done as a ambassador for the team and color commentator for over a decade, and it's rare you get to see that man shed some tears too. So it's pretty special the way that they surprised him. I'm looking forward to March to show him some love.
What did you think of Brandon's game tonight, and what have you made of the trajectory of his season?
His game was unbelievable. We encourage him to be aggressive, especially if he has shots. Take him, knock him down. He always makes winning plays, whether it shows up in points or not, but we need him to score too when he's got those opportunities, and play with confidence, shoot with confidence. He made a tough sidestep into the shot clock three, the post up on the left, and he was attacking downhill, getting to the paint. So decisiveness and aggressiveness with him, especially offensively. He's going to do everything else great. And tonight he showed, how capable he is. We love to see that.
You think you're going to be able to make the Dell retirement?
Oh, and for sure.
Just trying to play to my strengths, playing hard, just making quick decisions and living with the result.
When you're making shots, and it's kind of a no-brainer, but when you're making shots out there, does it give you more confidence?
Nah.
Brandin, that corner three, how much do you work on that footwork specifically?
Yeah, I mean, in the corners, it's tighter space, so you got to be more precise with your footwork. But in my free time, I just like to just mess around with different things and see what I can try and learn some new things.
I mean, what goes into like that 1-2 right there, that comfortability, because it is such tight spaces, obviously.
I mean, obviously repetitions help. Doing it a bunch, you kind of get a feel for staying in balance and stuff like that. And so I just kind of just let my body take over and it happened.
Where do you feel like your in-between game is at? You followed up that three with a mid-range jumper, then a pump fake, and get a guy in the air and get to the free throw line. Where do you feel like that part of your game's at?
I think it's important to score at all four levels. So just slowly but surely, as time goes on, just developing all four levels and being comfortable at all four at any time during the game, shot clock, whatever the situation calls for.
Follow up on Dalton's question about your footwork. I was listening to an interview today with Con Knipple, and he was talking about how much of an adjustment the gather rule has been for him. Mm-hmm. Did you experience that too, coming into the league from college, and how did you adjust to it?
It's definitely called more closely in college. You see a lot more travels called. But I think once you get the grasp of, what it is, the refs look for, not necessarily what the rule is, it's more so what the refs look for. You just play to that. And I think I learned it through my first year, just like he's going through. And, I've gotten better with it, and I'm sure he will too.
What's the difference between the rule and what the refs look for?
I think there's a gray area in terms of like what they allow and what the black and white version is of the rule book. So there's a lot of in-between calls that, as a ref, it may be a little quick, so you don't want to call it and then mistakenly get it wrong. So you just kind of let it go. Whereas in college, it's more kind of blatant.
And Steph tonight, he said that he really loved how decisive and aggressive you were on offense. What's the key to getting yourself into that mode?
Just coming with a ready-to-play mindset, impact winning both ends, and like I said, live with the results, good or bad.
A pretty significant stretch now, dating back to part of last season, where you're shooting better than 40% from three. Just how good does your jumper feel?
I mean, it always feels good. Some games it goes in, some games it doesn't. But I just try to remain consistent in what I put into the game, and hopefully it shakes out the right way for me.
Just from a reserve standpoint, just coming off the bench, just talk about the energy that you guys bring and just kind of how you guys are starting to come together collectively with everybody kind of settling into their role and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, me and Melton talk about it all the time, just providing a spark, whether scoring, playmaking, defending, whatever we needed. And before we went in, obviously we were down a lot in first. We just wanted to win the last 3-4 minutes and make them call timeout. And we did that, and it just carried throughout the whole game.
Yeah, to follow up on that, Brandon, they jump out to that 31-14 lead. How were you guys able to sort of withstand that, and what changed for you guys to then take control of the game?
I mean, we created some turnovers, got some stops. The more stops and turnovers you create, the less pressure becomes on offense to have to score the ball. And just with that, it's easier to score when it's off transition or stops. So we did that. I think it was 31-14. We ended a 16-4 run. So we had that and just kept playing like that throughout the game, and it worked out at the end.
I'm Ricky Pearsall from the San Francisco 49ers. Please like and subscribe to the Bay Area Sports Wrap. Go Niners.